Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and this is pretty much the second in the Spidey Log series. Basically, when I started this, it was to be kind of like an update series, but originally it was like Adventures Logs, kind of like Chris Dark Adventures Logs with just updates and stuff. But and then I relaunched them as Spidey Logs, and I really haven't done anything with them, so I just kind of thought recently, why not just do make this like a series where I can just like talk about thoughts on like anything comic related with comic books in general, or like comic book films, TV series, anything of that nature. And the reason this is still going to be entitled Spidey Log number 2 is because, well, technically I didn't want to have to relaunch it again. I didn't really want to have like 2 number 1s, so I just figured I'd keep it in line with the series, I guess. This is more of a revamp than rather a relaunch in a way. Okay, so the topic I wanted to discuss was the next Batman franchise. We all know that everyone loves Batman, and everyone wants, more Batman films coming. And last summer, Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy ended with The Dark Knight Rises. And I started thinking about this last Sunday when, instead of watching the Super Bowl, my friend Bryce and I decided to watch The Dark Knight Rises, mainly because he hadn't seen it. So I just figured, okay, yeah, sure. And, we were watching Dark Knight Rises, and I just kind of thought, like, wow, this is definitely going to be a tough act to follow, and how are they ever going to, begin this again? Well, I remember reading reading somewhere from on the internet, mostly from like almost every article about the Justice League film, which right now I'm pretty sure is like in limbo. That they're probably going to use that Warner Brothers is probably going to use the Justice League film to introduce a new Batman film series. And it got me thinking that, after Justice League, when this new Batman has his own film series, I just thought, how are they going to start it? Like, what are they going to do to kick it off? Like, what can they do to attract, make this kind of an entry point for some people? And I thought, well, no one wants to see an origin film. Okay, everyone knows Batman's origins. We all have a general idea. He was 8 years old. His parents got shot right in front of him, so he spent the rest of his life studying hard, traveling the world to learn a bunch of kung fu, learn how to be a detective, and finally return to Gotham, become Batman, so that he can be a symbol of fear amongst all underworld criminals. And do we really want to start with that again? Like, do we really want to go back and just say, oh yeah, this happened, this is year 1? I mean, because I think most of that was covered with Batman Begins, and I just don't know. It feels like a weird step back to just say, okay, this is what happened during Batman's first year, but wait, there's another film that takes place in the future. And I just don't think everyone wants to go through the origin story again when everyone knows what it is. I mean, yeah, there can be different takes, but I really just don't think anyone wants to go pay to see another franchise to go through it again, if you know what I mean. Because that was the complaint with I think some people complained about that with the Amazing Spider-Man, was that they had to sit through another half of the movie with like the origin film. And there's nothing wrong with the origin. They could kind of explain it, but just don't let that be the central focus of the film, because this idea, and I did have an idea that could work. Why not, for the first film, I might get a lot of flack for this, but why not just introduce Robin in the first film, okay? Here's what you do, alright? You introduce Dick Grayson, who's pretty much watches his parents die in front of him, and then he gets taken in by Bruce Wayne. And like over the course of the film, as Dick's trying to adjust to life without his parents, through flashbacks and stuff, you can kind of show what Bruce went through. How his parents died, what he went through, his training and stuff, as he's kind of explaining this to Dick Grayson. And also as far as Robin's role in the franchise, I think for the first film, they shouldn't have Dick Grayson in the Robin costume until the very end. Alright? Just like, kind of like stick to the same thing that happened to Dick Grayson in the comics. Like, he saw his parents died, and he did try to work on his case by himself, and eventually he does encounter Batman. And that's when Batman brings him in and starts to sort of train him. And for most of the movie, when Dick finds out, he could just kind of focus. He could be more of a position of just running the Bat computer and working from there. But then Batman gets in like some sort of death trap situation. My guess is with either the Joker or Two-Face, and the Joker can be, and pretty much Batman might not get out there. So Dick worries, and he takes a suit that he's been working on with like some spare Bat suit parts, and goes out and helps Batman out as his new sort of assistant as Robin. And of course, Bruce, he's going to be opposed. They should do it differently. Instead of having Bruce approve of it, he should be, kind of against it. But then, eventually, he sees what this kid can do and thinks, all right, you have potential, kid. You can be my partner. Oh, and also, as far as the age thing for Dick, I don't know, make him like if they're going to introduce Dick Grayson, he should be in like maybe either late middle school or high school freshman, I guess, for his age. And, I think the third... And so, that could be a good, sort of fresh viewpoint for the film itself about how, to introduce in. Because in the way, the audience would be kind of like Robin, discovering the world of the Batman and, learning all his skills, what happened to him, all that stuff. And, of course, you're probably wondering, like, how Robin could work for the franchise itself. Well, it could be about, Batman kind of examining how both Dick and Bruce would have different styles of fighting. And in the second movie, you could show them, like, being a good team, but also having some minor disagreements. And then for the third movie, that could be when Dick Grayson decides to, give up being Robin and go find his own path. I'm not saying he becomes Nightwing in the third movie, but he just leaves, and that's what happens. Now, I know based on everything I just said, it seems like I'm more interested in Robin than Batman. Well, that's not true, okay? I just think that Robin is a big part of the Batman franchise, and he has been, let's say, getting the short end of the stick for years, especially with the Joel Schumacher films. Oh my god, those were terrible. Anyways, Robin is not a bad character, alright? And he is a part of the Batman franchise. He was one of the first sidekicks, and Batman has always been, Batman has always had a number of allies, which is ironic, because everyone considers Batman a loner. Well, he's had numerous Robins, he has Alfred, Lucius Fox, Batgirl, tons of people helping him out. And I think that could be, and that might be what they would do with the Justice League film, to kind of show Batman and how he works with others. Because, let's face it, in the Nolan franchise, Batman really primarily tried to work by himself. I mean, yeah, again, the allies, Gordon, Alfred, Lucius Fox, but most of the time he felt pretty isolated. I'd say he was mostly isolated. I mean, yeah, he did have the allies and the friends, but none of them were really, the same type of person other than John Blake. And that's kind of what Robin's role was, to be like another person who's just like Bruce. And that's also when the flashbacks could occur for Bruce. Like, as he's watching the Flying Graysons fall to their deaths, that could also, trigger the memories in Bruce. Like, he's watching the same thing with Joe Chill killing his parents all over again. And that could also be a good plot. Batman going after, finally finding evidence that Joe Chill killed his parents, and, he goes after Chill. That's also another idea I have about Batman, is the confrontation of him and Joe Chill, and I mean like the real confrontation, not like what happened at the start of Begins when Bruce was almost going to kill him, shoot him with a gun. I mean, like if it's just like they just bring Bruce and Joe Chill by themselves in a room where Bruce finally has the chance to maybe kill the guy who took out his parents, but he decides to power through those emotions and try to bring Chill to justice. And villains for the next few films. Well, they could use the Joker. I mean, let's face it, Joker is everyone's number one favorite Batman villain. I'm pretty sure if you asked anyone, like, hey, who's your favorite villain from the Batman franchise? Joker, obviously. That's what people will say. But the flaw is but I think the problem with using the Joker would be, well, too much pressure from Heath Ledger. It would be Heath Ledger. Not because, it'd be disrespectful or anything. No, not like that. I mean, the problem would be like Heath Ledger's Joker would be so good that the actor who would be playing the next Joker might be a little skeptical or too hesitant, like too worried about, whether or not he's going to be as good as Ledger. He might not perform the role as well as it might be, but all I can say is that they should use the Joker just because he is one of the biggest Batman villains, and I think he would definitely bring a lot of use to the next franchise. Okay. Any other villains though? I guess Two-Face would also work. I mean, let's face it, Harvey Dent becoming Two-Face, that just happened in really 10 minutes. I mean, Harvey was probably only. He was only Two-Face for the very end of The Dark Knight, and that's where it ended. I think that it would be interesting to show Harvey as more of a villain, to show the more villainous side of Harvey Dent and what really happened to him after the whole burning of the skin. Any other villains that I really want to see? Bane, Well, the problem with I'm really kind of running out of good villains is because the Nolan films were amazing. I'm not going to deny that they are amazing and they are going to be tough to follow. So who's ever in charge of the next Batman movies, they are going to have a lot to deal with. Not just from the Nolan films themselves, but from every single fan, because I'm pretty sure every single fan might go into the theater thinking, oh, this isn't going to be as good as the Christopher Nolan films. Well, those guys are probably idiots. And, again, the problem with the Batman villains is there are good ones like Ra's al Ghul, Bane, Two-Face, Joker, but there are also ones that are a little too... that might be a little too... in the wrong light, could be a little too wacky, from the Silver Age and stuff, like the Riddler or the Penguin. I don't like those. Well, not so much the Riddler. I think the Riddler could work, but just not as a central villain, more like a B-level villain. I just don't want to see anyone maybe Penguin or I guess Schwarzenegger kind of ruined Mr. Freeze. But they could do Hush. That could work. Hush could also work as a good villain. So those are pretty much my thoughts. But mainly the idea I kind of wanted to get across about the new Batman films would be the use of Robin. Because, let's face it, I am a big Dick Grayson fan. And I think that the role of Robin could definitely provide a great fresh face or a better use, or a new idea to the Batman film franchise, and it could be done, and with the right director, and with the right actor. I guess my acting choice. If anyone asked me who I would want to see as the next Batman, I don't know, because it is difficult. About who you'd want to be next Batman. Most of the lists that I've gone through for who to play in the next Justice League film. Most people say that Ryan Gosling should play the new Batman. And when I heard that, I kind of just thought, wait, wasn't that the dude in The Notebook or those other romantic comedies? Why him? And people kept referencing his performance in that movie Drive. I'm going to have to see that so I can get an idea about what people are talking about. But, I don't know, Ryan Gosling doesn't really feel right to me. The one actor that I did think of probably immediately when I thought new Batman film, I thought of David Boreanaz from Angel and Bones. Because the guy is... Because I think he could do a good job at playing both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Because it is kind of his performance as Angel is definitely, that dark is definitely a good reference for the dark hero type, and also his work as Seeley Booth can kind of provide the whole, Bruce Wayne wealthy playboy thing. Okay, well, maybe not exactly Seeley Booth, but more of the calm identity that he needs for Bruce Wayne. But his performance as Angel mostly would be good for Batman. Okay, well, that's really all I have to talk about. Also, I'm gonna end it right here before I start to ramble. Although that's really the point of these videos, I just don't want to bitch about something for 20 minutes. That's pretty much all I have to say about what I think so far about what could be used in a new Batman franchise. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please use the comments to write your own ideas below, and because it'll be fun to see what other people think. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Spider-Man 981 saying see you later.